We're back and we have 5 knives to talk about. 3 fixed blades, 1 folder, and 1 utility knife. And these are some really cool ones. So let's go ahead and get started. Kick things off with 3 fixed blades. So I've been looking for the next tier up when it comes to budget fixed blades. These are all coming in under $30 and I bought them all myself. 2 of them are from a company or a sub-brand called Watchman. And these are in 14C 28N. That's a great steal if it is actually 14C. It has micarta handles, and it's surprisingly comfortable. This is the 206 model, WF206. Surprisingly good sheaths. Obviously, we still have that very annoying tech lock, which I'm never going to use, but you know, that's that. We have also a really generic designed full flat grind. Kind of reminds me of an Essie with this handle shape. Micarta handles again, nice and thin and slicey and very sharp out of the box. So I'll be testing these when I get to my $30 video. I will put a link to them down below. If you want to help me by also testing them and putting them through their paces, that would be helpful because one knife does not a, proof make, right? We need to have more than a few pieces of feedback to determine whether it's going to work or not. But I'm going to use them for about 2 months, about a month each, and we'll see how they go. The same thing is going to be true with this one. I saw this on Stasa 23's video somewhat recently. It has a full contour G10 handle, DC 53 steel, between 59 and 61 HRC. It was marked on the blade. And I really like the shape of this. I also really like the taco style sheath that it comes with. It's a really nice knife, like a really nice EDC knife. I'm curious to see how it holds up. It's not as secure in the sheath as I would like, but it's also not falling out either. So overall, it's great. Don't like the tech locks. I've said that a billion times. I'm going to put a DCC clip on here so I can use it in pocket, and that's what I'll be rocking. So I'll swap between these 3 knives in the $30 challenge video. So this is kind of like a spoiler for that. These knives will make a second appearance. Overall, I'm just blown away with how inexpensive some of these are right now. I need to test them to make sure that they are not badly heat treated or some random stuff like that. But they're worth an exploration. If they turn out to be good and they're actually in 14C 28N or DC 53, then it's a very, very good value. And if you have any experience with either of these 2 brands or these models, please let me know down in the comments. All right, let's move on. Our second knife from Geo. It is the same basic model as the first one we covered with Ultim scales, except this is all titanium. This is about $125, whereas the other one was a $65, which I still believe is a much better value because you're getting the same blade steel, which is M390. That's very impressive. Both this and that, from a value prospect, is quite good. We have Timascus pivot collars, a really nice, like, golf ball texture, which I actually really, if I'm going to be honest, I think it's very, very cool. Unfortunately, this is not a reversible pocket clip, which is a huge miss for me. Crossbar locks always should be ambidextrous, no excuses. That's just my personal preference. This one is on washers, as are all the other variations. So you can take this apart, probably polish those washers, and you'll get a little bit of a smoother action. As it sits, you kind of have to throw it closed a little bit to get it to go. But not too bad. It still has good spring tension for flicking it out. So that's something. Comes with both additional Omega springs and your little cleaning cloth. Yeah, it's fine. The Ultim one is way better value. It also has reversible clip. I would recommend that over this one, unless you really, really are into the titanium. The other thing that I gotta say is, once again, both of the models, they come in just over 3 inches, and I mean just like 3.01. Why? I don't know. I guess they don't want to sell it in some areas on purpose. I don't know. I say this, I don't know how many times in knife reviews. There are so many competitive knives out there, like so many that compete directly. You can't leave anything on the table. Putting your knife in a place where it's not legal in a variety of different locations is a bad idea. Okay, that's just always going to be a bad idea. So fix it, please. That's the only real qualm I have with this knife, is that it just has that really strange blade length. Really good fit and finish, nice handle texture, feels good in hand, and good jimping too. Yeah, really, really nice job done by Geo Knife. Last but certainly not least, we have a utility knife from Tac Knives. Now this is done really, really well. First of all, the milling on this aluminum stands quite a bit more proud than I see most of the time. Very intense grip on this, which is much appreciated. So nice job. I like that they put the extra effort in, and it definitely shows. Now, a couple of things I'm going to point off right off the bat that I don't like. It's probably the only thing I don't like. This clip is almost unusable. Not only does it stand proud of the frame, but you can see just how little space there is for your pocket to sit in, and what ends up happening 9 times out of 10 is that it stops right there at the end, so it doesn't go all the way in the pocket as it should. So that's my big qualm. They have to fix this pocket clip, and I don't mean that they have to mill in, although that would certainly be helpful, but they should definitely get a clip that comes up higher and goes down a little bit lower so that it actually can fit in the pocket completely versus stopping right there. So that seems to happen, and I'm not super keen on it. Other than that, this thing is sweet. It has a really good texture on the ramp, a very satisfying sound. It comes with a great pouch with spare blades. For $60, very fun and very fidgety and very enjoyable. So nice job done by them. When you look at the market right now of utility knives, it's kind of in this like boom state where they're trying a bunch of really cool things. We saw the Exo from Riot, that's like the gravity utility knife. That thing is really cool. We have out the front utility knives like this one. We have the really premium options like Exceed Designs has. So there's just some really cool options right now on the market. If this had a better clip, it would be a no-brainer at the $60 price point. It really would. It's just so much fun to use. I like that they're only exposing half the blade. That is another thing that I have a qualm with, because if you expose more than that, you're not going to get full use out of that blade before you have to toss it, right? So when this is dull, you flip it around, you get the same amount of cutting edge, and it's all sharp the whole way through. So the amount of cutting edge is just perfect for a utility knife. It's not trying to be anything other than a utility knife. So really great job and very fun and fidgety. I definitely think it's worth a look. If you've never had an OTF, I think OTF utility knives are a great place to start, because you can, a lot of times, like if you have an issue with knives, you can just take it out, right? You don't have to carry it with the blade installed. And I think that's really, really neat about these in general. So love utility knives. I find them very useful for the kinds of things that I do and just tasks around the office, etc. And just one that you can fidget with, that's a plus in my book. Anyway, great job from Tac Knives. I'll try to find a link for it, and definitely worth checking out. Here you go, 5 more knives in the books. I'm curious to hear what you like the most. Do you like the fixed blades? Do you like the utility knives, the folders? What's your preference? Let me know down in the comments. As always, thank you for your time, and we'll talk again soon.